beautiful soul. Welcome to the Quantum Business Queen podcast. This podcast is a vortex for activating wealth, riches, and boss bitches. It is here that I teach multi-dimensional business. Our content will fall under 3 different categories: 5D quantum creation, 4D frequency alchemy, and the most potent 3D strategy. Every aspect of business that contributes to the creation of success is covered here. Plus, I will be personally interviewing the most amazing boss bitches that are at the forefront of the game, paving the way for money, magic, and magnetism in business. Let's get ready to activate all of that within you. So, this is what we all do as spiritual people. Is that we want to meet clients where they're at. Of course we want to, because we want to help people. But what that does is this: if our clients are here, which they're gonna be, because we're here, that's why they want to work with us, right? There's no point otherwise. We can't go like this and meet them where they're at and cater to them. Number 1, what that is doing is energetically projecting onto them. We're saying that we don't believe it's possible for you to come up here into this timeline, for you to be able to afford me, for you to be able to transcend your beliefs, because the way you look at your finances, we know it's an accumulation of your blocks and projections and all of these things up until this point. I project onto you that you're gonna cut through those weeds with a giant, what are those giant knives called? Boom, boom, like cut through them all. I believe that's going to be you. I'm projecting that on you so you get to meet me here. What are you projecting onto your clients? You are projecting that you have multi-millionaire clients. Therefore, you hold the identity that serves them. You hold the value in the containers that will allow them to ascend. And you charge accordingly. 2 millionaire clients you manifested the next month, you guys. You can't make this up, okay? Literally. You cannot make this up. We got to stop projecting lack onto our clients. We got to stop saying, I don't know if they can afford me. They can. If we're sifting through timelines 1 billion times per second, there's every single version of that person. Guess what? I'm going to hyper laser project onto them so they choose that one too. But if you are projecting a lower timeline onto them, you're going to anchor that timeline onto them. No, we don't do that. This is why you need to understand your values and your standards so you stay here rock solid and they get to meet you. This is what being a coach and a mentor is about. And if they don't want to meet you, you're not here to save every single human on the planet. There's some people who don't want to be helped. There's people who want you to bend over backwards and they don't even want to meet you there. This is why you have boundaries. This is why you know your values. This is why you have standards. This is why your projections are up here. I project you're a millionaire. I see it in you. This is why when we chat, the minute we talk, literally within 30 seconds, I'll be like, oh, I know we can do this. I feel it for you. I see the vision. Let's anchor this together. And it is literally the resonance of that knowing, for me, that helps my clients go into the next timeline. It's truly like that power of that, me holding them here. You pay me to teach you about business and energy and all these things, but really what I am at the truest of essence of what I am is the pillar of divine knowing for you. I see that timeline and I do not let that go for you. I hold that timeline, and then I go beyond that timeline and beyond that timeline, because the good thing for me is my vantage point. I hold your timeline without any of your blocks or distortions or program. I don't have that because I'm not you, but I have your timeline here, and I know exactly what we do to reverse engineer that. And then the next, and then the next, and the next. My job as a mentor is your pillar of divine knowing. I'm that pillar for you. And when I can be in that energy with you, that is one of the most potent ways we can transcend anything together. So programs and beliefs, projections. How are we projecting? Projections are a really important one. That is the one thing. Rennie started projecting my client's millionaire. You have the money. You have this. You have that. 2 millionaire clients the next month. Okay. That's just a bit weird, right? Not really. This is what she chose. She chose that. Okay. Okay, so like if we're talking business, which we are, what does a six-figure process look like? Wait, I want you to look at your business objectively and what energy is it, like, what are you emanating? That's what I want to say. Where does the energy of what you're putting out there not match what you're creating? And this is superficial things like graphics or copy or photo. Like, you don't have to have the most beautiful whatever. Oh, by the way, I will say Ariel, my VA, she has a knack for number one, graphics, taking photos, selfies, and making them look stunning. This doesn't take a lot of money, but you want someone to look at you as this part of this up level and immediately think authority. How are you, like, if you're in a business, how are you onboarding? How are you offboarding? What is this six-figure, multi-six-figure, seven-figure up level look like? So six-figure, seven-figure, going to seven-figure, we want everything automated. We want your graphics banging. We want the process from people who want to get to know you to a client, amazing. We want things ticking in the background. So you're waking up with the little ding, 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 dings of people just opting into things, right? This is an up level of the back end. You got the front end, you got the energy, right? This is important to talk about. We have the energy, we have the containers, we're emanating value, we have our standards, but we need the back end systems to match that. It gets to be easy. I tell you what, my first 6 figures was messy as hell. And it got to be that way. But I know it doesn't have to be messy either for you guys. It's funny because I was speaking to my mentor about this and she's going to be cracking into, I want to say 8 figures. I think she's doing about 500K a month at the moment, but she said the same thing. Her first 6 figures was messy as hell. The next up level takes streamlining. And I'm not advocating messiness. For those of you who are wanting 6 figures, I will help you make it not messy. So 6 figures is just boom, 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 easy. Because it's nice and clean. Don't do what I do. This is why you pay me to mess up, do the things that were not fun and that were messy, and then we'll make it beautiful and clean. So it's beautiful processes. Okay. So what does that look like? And I want it to be, everything gets to be so easy and uncomplicated. Easy and uncomplicated is what scaling gets to be. Now, this also means that your business is not a hobby. Your standard, your new up level is your business is not a hobby. It is a business. So what does that mean? It means, yeah, I'm going to not feel like it, but I do it. Yeah, I'm going to have resistance, but I lean into it. Not every day is going to be flow, but I have this consciousness tapping me on the shoulder that I know there's so much insane potential. And it's tapping you on the shoulder and it's saying, we need to co-create. I need you to turn your light on and I need you to answer the call. If it was a person sitting next to you daily, looking over your shoulder, how would you be showing up for it behind the scenes? It is the way people show up behind the scenes that determines, guys. There's so much fancy bravado online, but you know the people who are backing it, right? You know the people who are backing it. I see people who actually have nice graphics, who show up, but you just know there's nothing. It's hollow. So the systems and the back end really help you come forth. And you're just this confidence that you know it's all anchored. Because you know, this is how you keep people, this is how the longevity of, like, you will work with people longer term because it's smooth and it's not always going to be perfect. But what does this look like? Get your processes in place now, because I want you to tell yourself it's going to be so freaking busy that you're going to need this infrastructure to support your business and the wild demand. Okay. Standards and decisions. You really need to look at this one. So this is a very Tony Robbins one. Up-level your standards. But it's really your decisions, okay? It's really your decisions. And I always say your decisions are portals into new timelines. You have all of these things. You have all of this new energy. And then the decision time comes, right? If the decision's here and that is a portal, it is, by the way, it's a portal. You choose it and you step into that timeline. Sometimes that portal will be here and it's not going to be open for always. And then you're going to feel, okay, then you're going to let yourself be on the hamster wheel a little bit longer. And then you're like, okay, the call. Okay, here comes the decision, the portal. You step through the portal. This is where the resistance comes in. This is where I had so much anxiety and fear. I remember when she was the first mentor I invested, but major investment, first mentor was a major investment, the $33,000. Oh my gosh, did I have anxiety? Beyond. I thought about not even telling my that would have led to a divorce a lot sooner. But of course I had to. Of course I had to. But I just knew I was able to decipher the divine knowing beyond the anxiety, beyond the resistance, because this is a boss bitch decision that the portal was there and open. I knew I had to step through it. And it was so weird. I say this every time to every person. Oh, this is so weird. And for those of you who have done investments, you know it is the lead up. The holy shit, the forward and backing. Once you decide, step through, make the first payment or whatever, once you're in the new timeline, all the anxiety fades away because you're in that new timeline. It's like, oh my God, it's okay here. I haven't died. Every time. I do that every time with every investment I make with new coaches or whatever. And I'm always, most of the time, working with multiple coaches at once. It's like, oh shit, here this very familiar friend about to make a scary investment. I know you, and I know what you're going to try and do. I make the decision, land in the timeline, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't die. Wow. Let's rock and roll now. Let's do this every time. So your standards. How are you upholding your standards and then backing them with boss bitch decisions? Because the decisions are what is going to anchor you into the new timeline, and then every other layer of the up level will have you anchored in that timeline. So you're never oscillating. You're only climbing. And so every layer of this up level, this will never end, by the way. Sorry to say. Because every time you anchor that timeline, the new timeline, there's new layers. But this is the best part of life. Best part of life. So what are these decisions for you? And sometimes the decisions are cutting away old friendships, relationships. That decision fucking threw me into a new timeline. Like this time last year. Like, whoa, that Sarah compared to this Sarah. That required crazy, and that required debilitating me to transcend some debilitating fear and emotion. And I was calibrated like I never have been calibrated before. My seven figures, all of that, it required me to step into that. I knew it was calibrating me. I knew I had to lay myself out for about 6 months. My business carried me while I did nothing to build or scale it. I maintained my clients and supported them. I gave every ounce of energy to them, but I let myself be calibrated in that new timeline because it was so different. It was so completely different, but it was required. It's like, Sarah, you say you want this? Here's this portal. This is going to be a scary one. Okay? It's going to be a scary one, but we got you. Because if it's aligned and it is backed by divine knowing, you will never, ever, ever, ever be led astray. Ever. If you're making a decision out of like fear of, oh my God, like, whatever, that's when you're led astray. Aligned decisions when you're being tapped on the shoulder. Okay? Aligned decisions when you're being tapped on the shoulder that are led by divine knowing, you are never led astray. So many times I've had so many sessions with I call her my poor psychic medium, and she does a lot of future stuff. Spot on. I'll give you guys her details. She's insanely amazing. She's like, Sarah, you're going to be okay. She's like, you feel like, I know, because it's like, I'm literally not doing anything in my business. And I still had clients coming in and everything. I was freaking out, right? Like I was just losing myself in this recalibration and in this new timeline. She's like, you're afraid your world's going to fall apart. It already has. This is the new one you're in. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. You're afraid everything is going to burn down around you. It burnt down the second you step through the portal. You're in the new timeline. You're fine. Whew, okay. Okay. So, guys, the hardest up level are your decisions. They truly are. That's the boss bitch up level. Okay? The boss bitch up level. I want you guys to anchor in the projections, how you're projecting on yourself, how you're projecting around money, the beliefs around all of that. We clear all that out, clear it all out, and then a portal's going to open and you're going to be asked to lean into it. It's going to calibrate you, meaning you will be annihilated. Parts of you will be annihilated. But we love our Glennon Doyle. You will only live to the degree that you are willing to be annihilated. You will only experience success to the degree that you're willing to be annihilated. You have to let go of those old versions of yourself, and I promise you will feel like you are dying. And parts of you are. But they're the parts of you that have kept you in the frickin' hamster wheel. So, my beautiful souls, standards and decisions. Do have them set. Know that they're going to be scary as hell to uphold. Know what your divine knowing is, that timeline that will fuel you, and you base your decisions on the divine knowing, and that only. So it's so funny. I always say this as well. This is a wholehearted belief. My reality expands with my decisions. So, and I've proven this to myself time and time and time and time and time and time again. We still have a house in Williamstown. I was working as a kinesiologist one-on-one with people not making anywhere near the amount of money I'm making now. In fact, I could not believe they approved us for a loan, right? So it's like, oh my God, we're going to keep this house and buy another house. My husband's a teacher and musician. I joke and I say those are the two things you do when you don't want to make money. That's not that funny. But anyway, so it's like, okay, it's a miracle we got approved for a loan. But it was like it didn't make sense, but it happened anyway. And my reality expanded with that decision. The logic, the evidence was like, you shouldn't do this. You and Jeff are self-employed. He worked at a school for 3 days a week, so that's not technically fully self-employed. But anyway, this doesn't make sense that you guys would be able to do this and maintain both. But we chose it. And guess what? My reality expanded with it. That's when I started doing my first 10K months organically. It felt like a fluke. My reality expanded because I moved past the evidence distortion, and it expanded with that decision. The next time I did that was when I invested $33,000 in the worst time in human history. My reality once again expanded with that decision. This is why decisions are part of the up level. I invested 33 grand. Made 6 figures in 6 months, I think it was. And then I made another 6 figures again, multiple 6 figures organically with hardly any strategy. That was messy as hell. My reality expanded with that decision. Now this is the next one for me. Can I maintain the Williamstown house, the Tilden house, this house, not work for 6 months? Here I am again. Expanded again. Scared as fuck along the way. Scared as all, never been so scared in my life. By the way, I am not Australian. For those of you who haven't noticed, I don't have family here. We've only lived here since COVID. I'm just now getting a friend group. I felt like I was so alone. So alone. My God, the nights I would have wished I could have driven to my brother or sister's house and just been, or my dad and stepmom. The nights I wish I could have done that. But I had to sit in this place. By the way, I just moved into this house. It didn't have a stick of furniture and it was echoey. So to say I felt alone was an understatement. But I had to be annihilated. I had to go through that calibration. I'm so freaking, there's so many ways my life has changed in a very short amount of time through that expanded decision. My life expanded massively. Not only in my relationships, we won't even get into those details, but every other way. Every other way. Your life will always expand with expanded decisions. You have to back yourself with all of these other 6 layers of the up level though. Okay. So then you're anchored in there. You're ready to own the boss bitch. You're ready to own the new timeline. You're ready to really be in there. And then guess what? There's the new one and the new one and the next one and the next one and the next one. And it just gets to be that more delicious. I think the first initial calibrations are the scariest. And then it can just be easier and easier because these are the densest layers, right? These are the muck, the stuff you've been carrying around that's the heaviest. Once you recalibrate that, it will continue to get easier. It does. Guys, our reality is all an accumulation of everything we've chosen, okay? Up until this point, decisions, the portals, the timelines, all of it. All of it. I have case study after case study. Okay, proving this. This person manifested 30K. I have so many stories, it's freaking crazy. I have my clients on here backing this stuff. Like, I have this girl, Sandrine is her name. I don't know if she wants to be anonymous or not. She's not now, but like, she went into a launch. I never tap people on the shoulder, by the way, but I could tell it wasn't going well. I tapped her on the shoulder. I was like, I know I can help you. She went in from enrolling 5 people to 30. That was a 65K launch we made in a month. Of course, I'm going to charge $33,000 to make for a year, right? She did that again 3 months later. So we made her 130 something K in 3 months. Now, this is a story I love. This is Marga. She was actually my quantum coach certification, but again, it's all the energy stuff, right? I want to back this story. I want to tell you this story because I want to tell you the importance of never lowering your standards. Okay. This is one of the things people do with manifestation, right? I tell the story of manifestation and working with the universe. If you guys have heard me say this, just hear me out again. Here's what happens. You sit down at the Universal restaurant, right? You're looking around and you're thinking, you know what? Fuck it. I'm feeling good. I'm going to order myself some steak and lobster. So you order steak and lobster. You're kind of getting a little impatient. You're looking around. The steak and lobster is not here yet. You're kind of, a little antsy. You're looking around noticing, oh, this is weird. Nobody else has a steak and lobster. Maybe this isn't even a thing. Maybe the steak isn't meant for me. Maybe the lobster isn't meant for me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. You notice the evidence of it not being here. Okay, now you're in hyper freak out mode. This is taking too long. Am I worthy of having steak and lobster even? Oh my gosh. Now you get in your head. You wave the waiter back over and you say, right, look, I see that person. They have the spaghetti bolognese. I'll just have that. That's fine. The evidence is there that many people have this. I'll just I'll just go with this. Same thing happens. You're waiting around again. Spaghetti should be something that should come out fairly quickly, but for some reason, this is taking a while. It's not here yet. What's going on? You look around. For some reason now, you don't even notice anyone with the spaghetti. You see people with like toast and bread and you're like, okay, wave the waiter back over. I'll have the toast and bread. That's an easy one. He goes back there. That standard is so low. It's an expectation you can have because it is the bare minimum. Boom. Here's the steak and bread. At one point you thought steak and lobster was what you were going to have. And next thing you know, you're eating bread and butter. What the fuck? You've got to stop changing your order. You've got to stop lowering your standards. You've got to stop looking for the evidence of when it's going to happen or how, because if you continuously do that, it will not come. Here's what you do instead. You know what I did actually? I went on a cruise once, and I swear this is a true story. I went on a cruise, and for those of you who've been on a cruise, the food is fucking abundant. They go overboard. Let's just be honest. Every night, I would say to the waiter, surprise me. And instead of bringing out just the steak, he would bring the steak and the lobster. And this is no word of a lie. We would have so much fun, and every night I'm like, I want that waiter. And they'd be like, just surprise me. And then I would just get lost in the conversation with my family. We'd laugh, and all of a sudden I'd have, oh my God, I gotta have the steak. And you brought this too? Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And because I was so grateful, we had such good energy, he was trying to do everything he can to like up the stakes because of the banter and the gratitude and everything. And this was like 20 years ago, and I still remember that waiter. Surprise me. And then the steak and the lobster came because I had no expectations. I was just like, let's do this, and so much gratitude. So place your order, get lost in the moment. Here's what manifestation looks like. Place your steak and lobster order. Lose yourself in the joy of the person that is sitting across from you. To drink a sip of that wine, let it just permeate and make your body feel warm and enjoy every delicious sip of it. Just start losing yourself in the laughter, losing yourself in the deep conversation, and poof, all of a sudden, here is a steak and lobster when you least expected it. But you knew it was coming. Just fucking love the journey so much. And all of a sudden it arrives, and you never lowered your standards. You just fell in love with every aspect of being there. This is what happened with Marga. She was in my quantum coach certification. She lived in Mexico at the time during COVID. She desperately wanted a new car. two problems with that. Number one, they were not importing new cars. They were impossible to find, this specific one that she wanted. Number two, she didn't have the money. Pretty heavy evidence that this may not happen, right? No. I said, Marga, you will not change your order. You will not change your order. Your order is to have that car. You will have that car. Swear to God. She was like, fuck it. I'm gonna roll my window down. I'm gonna sing at the top of my lungs. I'm in my car already. I think it was a month later. She ended up getting the money, and somehow, I forget how she manifested it, but this is her at the literal dealership buying the new car. Your reality will expand with your expanded decision as long as you don't let the evidence dictate what you're choosing. And as long as you don't let the evidence lower your standards. Can you please let these words resonate? Yeah. Stop changing your order. The only reason you're changing your order is because you're lowering your standards. You probably don't even know what your standards are. You're just letting them just flop around. How can you be up-leveling if you have no platform to stand on, right? Which are your standards standing on your platform. What are your standards? Do not waver. Love the journey, which means you make things mean things that are positive, not dense. You're not going to love the journey when you're plugging all these dense meanings into things, creating resentment and frustration and doubt for yourself. It's all a meaning. We live in a meaningless world except for what you plug in, right? So you can just have the most delicious sip of wine every single day, metaphorically speaking. Laugh your ass off with a friend. Know that you're serving from a place of just loving what you do. That's all. And it will come because you are worthy, because you are. That's all. That's all. So this, my friends, is like this right here. This will anchor in all of the other next level work. Truly. All the evidence I have with myself, with my clients, it's all here. If you need evidence. That's why I like to end this with the evidence, right? Like, yeah, but Sarah, it must be nice for you. It can be nice for you too. It will be. We are all the same. We're all the same. We just have different levels of distortions, and we just have different ways of different muscles we have built. My superpower are the muscles I've built. Okay? I had to build the muscles. We all have muscles. It's up to you if you want to build them or not. I had to build the divine knowing muscle, which was make one scary decision and then, I trusted myself in that and it worked. Okay. Make another scary, that didn't work. That's okay. I'm not going to make it mean anything. I'm going to relentlessly continue to choose. You will not lose if you do that. You will not. It is impossible. Backed with all the energetic work. Build a structure for yourself, you guys. That's part of the up level. What are your structures around your energetic processes every day? This has to be systemized, meaning structure your morning routines. This has to be systemized. This has to be an up level for you, because if it isn't, you're going to float around your day and be like, oh wait, when am I meant to do that? Tapping or whatever. I do tapping a lot, by the way, guys. Brad Yates is amazing. I really feel like he's helped me a lot. If your up leveling is not systemized, it's not going to become a habit. If it doesn't become a habit, that's on you, okay? This is another part of the up-leveling. Systemize this work. Journaling. Tapping into your future self. Tapping into your past self. Looking at your belief systems. What is feeling heavy for me right now? Oh, it's a belief. Well, I get to unplug that one. I know that hypnosis. I fall asleep to hypnosis now. The Beethoven stuff, you guys. Bashar is the one that mentioned that the Beethoven Symphony number 7, movement 2, the first 3 minutes, it's clipped and it's looped for an hour. The first 3 minutes is those exact chords are the exact resonance to help you release. Where are you systemizing that in your day or your night? I fall asleep to it. The stuff I'm telling you to do, the pieces that resonate the most, how are you building a system around how you're going to do this daily? It's the daily stuff. Okay. Whew. Joe, I love him. He's kind of he was one of my very first clients. I think he was one of my very first clients. People, you might see Joe, now that the internet hears me talking about him and how freaky and weird the internet is, you might see his Facebook ads. This is Crypto Joe. I worked with him from the very beginning, just working in his energy up until he scaled to 7. He's probably a multi 7 figures now. Amazing dude. Sasha, not into energy at all. She's a funny one. But she was like, oh, quantum coach, this sounds interesting. One session with her, she went from her business going, I don't know how I'm going to make this work, Sarah. This is more of a side hustle, to scaling to 20K months. We just did one energetic session, to hiring 3 staff. This was years ago. This was 2020, I think. There's so many stories. There's so many stories, you guys. There's so much evidence here. But you got to systemize the work. Got to up level. This is the layers of the up level. Yeah. So one of the things I do, and I'll give you a bit of a marketing tip. Authority marketing is what converts. Okay. Authority marketing, meaning here's the proof. Here's the proof. I know what I'm talking about. Testimonials, case studies, authority marketing for me, for clients. So here's exactly step by step what I did to help my client do 41K in 1.5 weeks or whatever. So I was doing my own little research, and I realized I helped 10 different clients make I think it was a combined 500K. Just this work, right? So for you guys, get into authority marketing. What are systemize the results you do for clients, talk about them, reverse engineer that, give value around it. That's your marketing. We won't get into marketing, but anyway. Okay. This is the work, you guys. Honestly, this is the work. Let it calibrate in your bones. This is the stuff. This is the stuff. Please let this not be a concept. Let this all be an embodiment, because the embodiment is what will change. Concepts stay here. Embodiment is your new truth. And that's how you have lasting shifts. Okay. I'll leave you with that. I love you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today, beautiful soul. I hope you got so much gold and were activated in such a way that you could step into your highest timeline of abundance and freedom, because it is more than possible for you. If that desire has been planted in your soul, it is so deliberate. If you wouldn't mind, please rate, review, subscribe to this podcast so that we can get this message into the hearts and ears of more amazing light beings across the world. I would love to continue this conversation with you, so feel free to get in touch on Instagram at sarah.tynan.quantumcoach. If you're a Facebook person, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Sarah Tynan International. And please don't ever forget, if your desire is there, it's because your destiny is there too. You just have to remember who you are. Bye for now, beautiful.